My husband and I, Michael, sold and bought a house with Tanya Hoffman. We worked with a lot of other different real estate agents in other areas, other states, and it has not been nearly as easy as working with Tanya. If you don't have somebody that's knowledgeable in the buying and selling process, you're pretty much screwed. Working with agents that are not knowledgeable in their field can cost you time, money, even your dream house. When we decided that we were going to sell our home and move out of the neighborhood, we called Tanya. She was the first person that popped up in our heads. So when Tanya came and gave us the comps in the area, suggested the price that we should list it at, we also got an idea from Tanya about what to do with the house, how to stage the house, what to get rid of in the house, so that when potential buyers come in, they're not looking at your personal things, they're looking at what the house will look like when they move in. So we had an idea of the price range that we thought we could get for it, and Tanya went to the height of that, not leaving any money on the table, and it sold first day. I know from buying and selling other homes that the first viewing is online. So Tanya represented our house beautifully online with photos and a virtual tour. So it was a Sunday, we had to get out of the house so Tanya could do an open house, and we were watching football at the local sports bar, and Tanya calls a couple hours later and says, "I sold your house." And we're like, "What? In 2 hours? Where are we gonna go? We have nowhere to move to." So she sold the house so fast and we had nowhere to go that we called her and said, "Tanya, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to take the house off the market till we find something." Tanya, being the expert that she is, said, "What is it you're looking for?" Well, lucky for her, I had been making a list of all of the things that we wanted in a dream house because we were thinking about, do we want to build a house, do we want to remodel? For 30 years, I've been married to Michael Brady. He's wanted to build a dream house. So we were trying to figure out, how can we make this come true? So when you build your dream house, you have very specific ideas of what you want. I listed a loft in a bedroom that I'd seen at Hearst Castle. I listed a tea room. I listed drink drawers. I listed so many detailed items that Tanya's like, "I love it." So Michael had decided to just stay put. Let's not doing anything. But Tanya, being the professional real estate agent that she is, said in her head, "Oh no, I'm finding that house that they want." And guess what? She did. A week later, this house fell into her lap and she's like, "That's the house that they've been looking for." She calls Michael, "You gotta come see this house." He comes and he goes, "Oh my God, this is it." He was looking for good bones, and that's what they found. So when you're buying a house, there are a lot of strategic people that play a part. You need a lender, and if for a remodel, you need a lot of other things, a designer, an architect, a builder. Tanya had them all. Tanya sold our home, found our dream home, and all of the people that are going to make it happen, and we couldn't be happier. When you're buying or selling a home, who you work with truly matters, and we couldn't be happier with Tanya Hoffman.
I'm Greg, this is my wife Daphne. We sold our house using Tanya Hoffman.
So we had a home in North Scottsdale, approximately 5,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, gorgeous, loved it. Views were spectacular and amazing. It's a showstopper. And we just decided it would be a better opportunity for us to move inland.
We did look for a real estate agent, and so we had just moved from California a couple of years before, so we did not have a lot of connections. We knew some because we had a realtor that represented us on the first house. We considered the options of building, remodeling, where we wanted to do, and we had gone to an open house that Tanya was having in Desert Highlands. And we met her that day, and she just knocked our socks off. She was fantastic.
She was amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, beyond amazing. I walked out of there, we didn't particularly care for the house itself, and it's not something that we could have torn down and, taken advantage of the views. But I remember walking out of there, telling my husband, "Oh my God, I love her. She's sassy. She was full of information."
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she just had an amazing aura about her, and I said, "I really like her." And I told my husband, keep her card.
Over the time we've been married, we've bought and sold 10 homes, Arizona and California. And the things that we're missing in those transactions that we found with Tanya is she's super personable.
Yeah.
She's easy to get a hold of. She wants to get a deal done, and she listened to what was important to us in the transaction.
She did her homework before we even met, and that was amazing. And she's fun. I mean, her energy is high, but she knows her stuff.
Business is business. We knew this needed to get done quickly at a good price for us. And in the conversations with her, based on her knowledge of the area, her knowledge and transactions that she had done, we were confident it would get done.
Oh, yeah.
And we had other interviews scheduled with other agents. And we met with Tanya and we just said, we'll just cancel the other interviews because we knew what we were going to do, and it was fantastic.
In one word, she's badass in a great way. She's no nonsense when she needs to be, but she's very personal when she has to be, and she will drive it home to a winning success for both sides.
And she came up with comps that got it priced at a level that we were happy with, and also was at a level that got it sold quick.
We had several showings the same day. She called us and says, okay, you guys can come on back. We did. She goes, I have a really good feeling about this. Both parties were interested. They were excited about it. The first party, I think they're gonna make an offer tonight. We did not go to bed until 2 a.m. the following morning, which was a Monday, and we both work early because we were putting that transaction together because the first couple did not want the second couple to come in with an offer. We had to sign that day.
Yeah, and she stuck with it. I mean, she stuck through the transaction. I mean, we were on the phone, we were texting. We were talking back and forth from about 7:30 at night until the early hours of the morning just to get the transaction done.
That's how good she is. She will she closes a deal.
It was the deal structured the way we wanted it.
Yeah, she
It worked perfect.
And I would say beyond our expectations. I think she took it to a different, I don't think we knew what to expect, but I think she took it to a level that we had not even thought about. If we move out of state, she has to get a license wherever that state is. We're not going anywhere but Tanya. Our appraisal came in higher than the sales price, and we did increase our sales price. She got even more just because she went and did the homework and made it available and gave it to the appraiser.
And that was something that was going to be a challenge because there was just a lack of comps in that development. And we asked a pretty strong price for ours, and we thought it was worth it. And she went out and did the background work, met with the appraiser, was there during the appraisal, was there doing lots of subsequent meetings with the buyer and the individuals that came along with the buyer, and she took care of us.
But I also think we set a trend in our development because after we sold ours, 3 to 4 other houses went on the market trying to get the same price per square footage. They've lowered them, all of them have. Not one of them could do it.
They didn't pick Tanya as an agent.
I remember when I first met Tanya, we did a lot of investigating of Paradise Valley, and I loved it, but she really helped me to expand my search, and I came to realize that North Scottsdale was really where I wanted to be, and that's where my heart was.
We actually live in Virginia Beach. We have a son at Arizona State University. We have a lot of family that we love out here, and we wanted to spend more time in Arizona just because we could get out of the humidity of down by the ocean. The winters are pretty brutal in Virginia. And out here, it's like magic. It's just a great place to be.
We first met Tanya at an open house. She was just so friendly and personable. And I called her back probably 4 months later, and she remembered exactly who I was. She knew that I was there with my son. She remembered my name. She remembered what I looked like. And I was really impressed with that.
She looked at Kristen and she said, we could be best friends. And so we got her card that day and we threw it in the backpack, and 4 months later whipped it out.
And then she decided she was a great wine drinking buddy. So that just took it over the top. So we're not new to real estate. I am a residential real estate agent, and my husband is a commercial broker. So we really know what to look for in a real estate agent, and Tanya just hit every mark. She was smart, she was a great negotiator, and I loved being around her, which was, half the battle.
And I think the other half is you always get a quick phone call back. She's always glad to talk to you. Very professional, always.
Knowledgeable. I would say really knowledgeable.
Yeah.
I remember when we first saw this house, the outdoor area just took my breath away. And I knew that if Tanya could get it at the right price, this was it. And she did.
So when we started the process, we didn't really know, were we going to build? Were we going to buy an existing house? Were we going to renovate something older? And Tanya was a great resource because she was very knowledgeable in all those aspects and also could bring in experts to help us get through those pieces. It's a complex market out here. It's a big market and it's complex, and it really helps to have those experts get you through.
If you don't find the right agent, you're in a world of hurt. The fact that Tanya had this incredible network with all the other top agents, and she was able to bring to us homes that were not yet on the market, which was incredible, especially in today's environment with this really super fast sales cycle that's going on in such low inventory. I just feel so lucky to have Tanya being our agent. We frequently had last minute trips, and we were going to go to Napa because he makes wine, and I would call Tanya and say, I'm coming in for 2 days, and what can you do for me? And those 2 days she always had for me, whether she had to move somebody else around that was local and was easy to move around, it didn't matter. She made it work, and it was always important that she was able to do that, because then we found someplace so amazing like this.
In this market, it's so hot, you basically live and die by your agent. You're not going to get a good home if you don't have a good agent. And I think we had an incredible level of trust with Tanya. And the unexpected benefit is that we've become really good friends with her. And now when we come to Scottsdale, we call her for dinner, which is really nice. We weren't counting on that, but that's been a great byproduct.
That's the best thing about Tanya, is her friendship.
When we first saw the house, we didn't have an agent. We just did a cold knock on the door. The gentleman that owned the home let us in. He told us that day he was having an open house. The next day, he told us to contact Tanya, which was his real estate agent, who eventually became ours. When I first met Tanya, I found her to be full of energy. She was able to answer all of our questions. She was just very nice and comfortable. Anything I needed from her at that time, she was always there. Purchasing a home of this magnitude it's a long process, and she made it very easy. I was able to get into the home almost every day the first week that we saw it, and she was always available. I've worked with other real estate agents in the past, but Tanya was different in that she made it real personable. I never felt like it was a job to her. She made this transition very easy. I was able to contact her whenever I needed. She answered all of our questions, and it just didn't seem like it was a strenuous process. For me, communication was important, and Tanya was always available for us. She had our answers, and when she needed to research some things, she did. So we never had a problem getting our questions answered and making us feel comfortable moving forward through each step of the process. I always felt she was very fair. She was very concerned about our interests as well as the interests of the seller. So there was never a competition back and forth. She was able to take back the demands we wanted, and he was able to communicate with us what he was willing to do. So having her bridge between me and the seller was phenomenal. There was no issues at all. I always felt our best interest was being taken care of. She never made me feel like it was me against the seller and anything else. So I would say her integrity and what she brought to this sale was very important. There were several moving parts, and Tanya was able to make sure that everything ran smooth, and so that the seller was also able to close on his property. Being that this was a 7-figure house, we wanted to see this house several times. We may have seen this house 20 times. And every time we wanted to see it, Tanya arranged for us to be able to see this home. We saw this house so many times that eventually me and the seller became very good friends. And normally that's not something that happens in this business. And Tanya was able to facilitate that relationship that I still continue today with the seller of this home. I've bought 6 homes over the last 20 years. And by far, Tanya Hoffman is the best person to work with. She's able to work with the seller and the buyer, and she made this transition very simple.